Hi, my name is Allie, and right now I'm going to talk about a class I'm taking called Buddhism. And I really love Buddhism because it's a time in my day where I can really relax and experience what I'm learning. And by relax, I just mean kind of soften my ego enough to understand what our teacher and my classmate is saying, and relax enough to be able to meditate and read Secret of the Vajra World as well as I can. And lately, as I've been flipping through Secret of the Vajra World, one thing that really stuck out to me was the Hinayana practices, specifically the Shila, the Samadhi, and the Prajna. The Shila is the code of ethical behavior that the Buddhists are supposed to follow, and the Samadhi is the practice of meditation, which we've also been doing in class. And then the Prajna is the greater insight and knowledge, and experiencing reality outside of ego and being able to understand it. But today I'm really going to focus on the first one, the ethical behavior, because it kind of resonated with me, because out of all the religions that I've studied, this one is the most different, because this code of conduct, the Buddhists follow it without any real expectation. You know, in other religions, you have people following the code of conduct with the expectation that people will treat you the same way back. And the Buddhists have no expectation of that, and they don't need to gain anything from any divine intervention. The reason they follow this code is for their own personal benefit, and in that way is very practical. And that's why the Shila is taken voluntarily. And the Buddhist really stress this, because if ethical behavior is forced on you, it's not nearly as effective as if you take it voluntarily. And I think that's really cool, because, and at least in our society, I feel like morality is almost forced upon us, and it's forced upon us through guilt, that if we don't act a certain way towards others, or if we lie, steal, or cheat, we will be punished. But in the Shila, really all that you're punishing is yourself for doing those things, because it kind of clouds your mind and it fills your mind with either anger, jealousy, or anything that can disable you from reaching your personal liberation. So one part of this aspect of Shila, they talked about the idea of lying. And I know all the other religions have rules about not lying, but this one really stuck out to me because it defined lying as more of a misrepresentation of reality. And I think that's really interesting, because I think that we're constantly misrepresenting things to fit our own purposes, but at the same time we don't know we're doing it. And so we could be breaking our own code of conduct without any awareness of it at all. And this is kind of a form of self-deception, and I don't think we're really able to see our own self-deception, but yeah, we're so readily able to see other people's. And so from reading this section of the Hinayana practice, I've really started to become more aware of why I misrepresent things, and why I put symbols or ideas or concepts into things that don't need them, and that just are as they are. Let's see. As I said before, I want to talk about how the Shila is really practical. The Buddhists believe that there's a cause and effect to everything, and that's kind of what we've been talking about in class. So by following this code of conduct, by preserving life, so obviously like not killing and saving lives when you can, there's a practical purpose to that. From doing this, you gain a greater understanding of the person that you help, and so that can help you on your path to enlightenment as well. And I think that the Shila, or the ethical behavior, is really only possible with along with the two other parts of the Hinayana practices, the meditation part, because I think if you're more in touch and more embodied in yourself and don't have all of this chaotic thoughts in your mind, then you're more able to focus on how you want to live and your own path to liberation. And one point that was really interested me was the idea that meditation, the goal of it, of course, is to erase these chaotic thoughts in your head. But for me, I always thought I was very horrible at meditation because I always have chaotic thoughts in my head. But now that I've become more aware of it, I think that I'm getting better at it, because the point of meditation isn't to erase these thoughts, but more to be aware that they're there. And this can help you really in any aspect of life, For me, even just at home with my family at dinner, now I'm more aware of where my thoughts are and where I want them to be. And in this way, people can follow their ethical behavior because they're just more aware of their thoughts, and they're more aware of their body and their place in the world. And these two together, the ethical behavior and the meditation, I think can really lead to the greater insight, or the prajna. And the prajna is really seeing the world from a non-ego state. And I don't know if I've met really anyone who can do this, because from a very young age, we're taught to either judge things or put things in a box where we can conceptualize them. And so meditation helps with breaking down that box and breaking down that ego. And I think that reality is on the other side of that box. And so once you start to meditate and you kind of break down that chaos in your head, or at least become aware that it's there, and you start practicing ethical behavior, or just being aware of how you think towards morality and how you think towards ethical behavior. Once you become more aware of those things, then I think that can lead to the greater insight. And I think this is like a really slow process, but as long as you become more aware and you're able to experience things directly, then you'll have a greater experience in life, and you'll be able to live ethically, and you'll want to meditate, and you'll gain a greater knowledge. So thank you.